Well, guys, that day has finally come. The love-hate relationship that was the Enchanter Meta is coming to an end. Hey guys, HotRod08 here, and I've got some grim news for you. Riot has a couple patches ago told us that they want to nerf the power of the enchanters that were in the game because they thought that enchanters in general were just too strong. And I can't lie, the last 5-6 patches, you know, the top 5 champions have, most of them have been enchanters, so I kind of know where they're coming from. But it seems like between the 80 carry changes that happened in patch 8.11 and what they're doing in patch 8.12 is going to finally put an end to the Enchanter meta. So on the PBE server today, you can see, we're going to scroll down, we're going to skip a few of these, but you can see from the beginning that we're going to start off with Forbidden Idol. What they're doing is they're lowering the cooldown reduction currently from 10% to 5%. In the heal and shield power, they're lowering from 8% to 5%. Now, Forbidden Idol was a pretty good item in the early game in order to pick up. It gave you some nice mana regen, that 10% cooldown reduction, and the 8% heal and shield power is actually really nice for your abilities. Now, that is, if they keep it like this when it goes live, is definitely going to be a hurt to that early game buying Forbidden Idol. And I don't know why I keep saying item, idol. Now, we're going to move up to the other enchanter items, and we're going to go to Ardent Sensor, which they're lowering the heal and shield power from 10% to 8%, so the same as Forbidden Idol was beforehand. We're going to come back to Athene's Unholy Grail in a minute. If we go down to Mikhail's Crucible, they're lowering the heal and shield power from 20% to 15%. And then, finally, they're lowering the heal and shield power on Redemption from 10 to 8%. Now, 2% isn't going to be the biggest change, but it does make a difference on how much you're healing throughout the entire game. And also, if you're using Redemption, that's actually a pretty good nerf overall, because you remember Redemption, its active gets 3 times the amount of power that you're putting into it. So by itself, Redemption, its active, instead of getting 30%, it's only going to be 24%. Let's say that you had Redemption and Mikhail's Crucible together. Instead of 90% heal and shield together, now it's going to be, what, 23 times 3, 69% increase. So it's going to be getting lowered. If you had those two items together, you're a staggering like 21% less heal on your Redemption active, which is crazy. And then its regular would be dropped from 30 to 23%, so 7% decrease on heal and shield power. So that does make a pretty decent difference on the items. We'll get to Athene's Unholy Grail. Now, actually, this item, it's relatively underutilized, but they are actually thinking about possibly giving it a buff. So they're going to, at the moment, they have it for the unique passive, the premeditation damage, increasing from 25 to 35%. Now, what premeditation damage is the damage that you would do if the enemy had 0 resistances. So let's say I hit an enemy with a Recon Q. Let's say that should have done 300 damage. No matter how much armor or magic resist they have, or how much damage I actually did, if you did 25% of that 300, I will have gotten 75 of that premeditation add to Athene's Unholy Grail. Well, now that's going to be increased to 35%, so off the top of my head, I can't. I'm not the... Yeah, I'm good at math, but I can't do 35% off the top of my head. What is that? 35 times 3. 105. So instead of 75, it'd be 105 off that 300 damage. So that's a pretty good buff there, but as opposed to all of the other heal and shield items, it's definitely going to be lowered. And you also have to take into consideration the 80 carry meta that is coming, that just came to this patch in patch 8.11. Now, what that did is made 80 carries, like crit 80 carries, a lot weaker in the early game, and early game champions like Lucia and Draven a lot stronger, because the crit champions don't come online until a good amount later on in the game. And enchanters are best in the game at protecting those carry AD carries that are building those crit items. So between the crit AD carries not going to be played as much, and these changes to the heal and shield power being lowered, if they keep these decreases on the items, we're definitely going to see the Enchanter meta be falling. And most likely we'll have either a tank meta or an AP caster item, because AP casters really got buffed this patch from the AD changes. Since we're favoring early game champions, those AP casters can do a lot of damage early in the game. They very well might become the next meta in League of Legends. But what do you think of all this information? Do you enjoy that the enchanters are going to be overall nerfed or not? Comment down, comment section below. I would love to hear your opinions. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, I feature sport-focused League of Legends content that I release on a weekly basis and would love your support. Please like this video even if you don't like the Enchanter Changes, as it helps me out personally, and hit that notification bell next to the subscribe button to keep up with the latest content that I release. Also, I have just started up a new Patreon for my channel. If you are a huge fan of the channel, I urge you to take a look at the different perks of being a Patreoner, ranging from supporting the channel for just $1 and having your name put at the end of every video when I get up to 3 patrons, all the way up to having me as a friend on League of Legends and having me review your games and putting them up on my channel. Rather than that, you guys have a good day today. Thanks much.